The United States is in the midst of several changes, both political and social. The change I'm discussing has been evolving for almost 100 years. The gay rights movement has severely changed the lives of millions of people. December 10th, 1924, the Society for Human Rights is created by Henry Gerber in Chicago and is the first gay rights organization and longest lasting documented in history. He created the first magazine for homosexuals, Friendship and Freedom. It stopped coming out quickly after due to political pressure. Sometime in 1948, Alfred Kinsey, sex researcher, concludes that gay behavior is not limited to the people who identify as gay, and that 37% of men have enjoyed gay activities at least once. 1940s psychologists and psychiatrists consider it a sickness, and it challenges many former set beliefs about sexuality. November 11th, 1950, Henry Hay creates the Mattachine Society with the goal of changing the public views on homosexuality and to end discrimination, bigotry, prejudice, and assimilate homosexuals into mainstream culture. November 15th, 1950, the federal government looks into employee sexual orientations at the beginning of the Cold War, claiming that since homosexuality was a mental illness, it could cause security risks to the nation because people who take place in acts of perversion lack the emotional control of normal people. Over 4,380 men and women were discharged. This became known as the Lavender Scare. Sometime in April 1952, the American Psychiatric Association classifies homosexuality as a psychopathic personality disturbance. Soon after, many professionals in medicine criticized the placement because of lack of scientific data. January 13th, 1958. Case 1 Inc. v. Olson marks the first time in the United States ruled in favor of the LGBT community. The case was filed after the U.S. Postal Service and FBI wouldn't have one homosexual magazine shipped due to obscene material. The Supreme Court grant First Amendment rights in the end. April 21st, 1966. Mattachine Society hosts a sip-in at Julius Bar in Greenwich Village in New York, where New York Liquor Authority bans serving gay customers claiming they're disorderly. The Mattachine Society announce their homosexuality and are not served. They sue, and the New York City Commission on Human Rights declares that homosexuals have the right to be served. June 28, 1969, people of Stone Inn, located in Greenwich, riot when police tried to raid the bar sometime near 1 a.m. Though the place had been attacked many times, this time was different. Young people and upset police officers went head-to-head in a 3-day-long riot, including thousands of people receiving very little news coverage. This was receiving credit for restarting the United States gay rights movement. June 28, 1970. Christopher Saint Liberation Day marks the first Pride Parade on the anniversary of the riots. Thousands of members of the community marched. Now dozens of countries around the world celebrate. June 7, 1977. Dade County, Florida, tried to pass an ordinance that would prohibit judgment because of sexual orientation. A mother, singer, and Florida Jew spokesman was about to get very upset. Anita Bryant was extremely put off by the attempt and launched a campaign called Save Our Children, claiming that since gay people reproduce on their own, they were trying to recruit children. She teamed up with Jerry Falwell to start a fight against gay rights. It was successful, with a vote of 69 to 31%. People were upset and planned boycotts against the Florida Citrus Commission and encouraged people to stop buying products. A lot of gay bars took screwdrivers off their menu and switched them with a drink they called the Anita Bryant, with the money going towards fighting the Save Our Children campaign. Anita took her campaign to other states. She went to California and attempted to pass the Bridge Initiative in California, which would cause anyone at school who even mentioned homosexuality in a good or neutral way to be fired immediately. Thanks to many liberal organizations, the Democratic Party openly opposed the legislation and it lost badly during the election. To the LGBT community's hard work, Anita Bryant's contract was not renewed as spokesperson for Florida Orange Juice. She became highly controversial and her singing career suffered greatly, and many people still consider her the spokesperson for hate and discrimination. This also marks the first time in America zealots expressed their open disagreements with the gay rights movement. November 8th, 1977, Harvey Milk gets a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors and is credited with introducing a gay rights ordinance protecting gays and lesbians from losing their jobs, which was successful. He was assassinated a year later by a former supervisor named Dan White, and on May 21st, 1979, Dan White is charged with voluntary manslaughter and sentenced to 7 years in prison. Protesters attack San Francisco City Hall, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage. Next day, 10,000 people gather on San Francisco streets peacefully to celebrate Harvey's 49th birthday. December 31st, 1993, a policy regarding military persons states that applicants shall not be asked or required to reveal if they are homosexual. Still prohibits applicants from engaging in homosexual acts or making a statement that he or she is homosexual. This policy is Don't Ask, Don't Tell. September 21st, 1996, President Clinton signs the Defense of Marriage Act into law. The law defines marriage as a bond between a man and a woman. The law does not require any same-sex marriage from out of state to be recognized. Finally, the point that brings my whole project together. On April 1st, 1998, Coretta Scott King calls on the civil rights community to join the struggle against homophobia. After the long journey towards their freedom and long days of suffering, Coretta Scott King was criticized for comparing civil rights to gay rights. The change is a new beginning, where even those who were on the bottom looked down on other people. It was the becoming